Hey y'all, my name is Jamaica. I am a mommy and teacher from Tennessee. Next year I'll be a 6th year pre-K teacher, and this is Life with Miss Jamaica. I told you guys to ask me some questions here on YouTube and on Instagram so I can film a Q&A for you guys, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So I have some questions here from Instagram that I screenshotted, and then I'll go to YouTube to get the comments from there for the questions that you guys want answered, and let's do a Q&A. So, first question. How do you balance being a mama, working full-time as a teacher, and content creating? I have no idea. So, with this, it's a lot easier when I'm at school because I only usually have DJ and I create my content right after school and then come home and I'm just a mommy. But still, scheduling goes into it a lot. I've said it before, this is my first summer where I'm not like chilling and like living my best life and just laying on the couch every day. Like, I wake up every day still at 6:30. I wake up at 6:30 and then I instantly come to my computer, do any work I need to do here. If I need to film, I go ahead and get ready, still come into this area and get my work done before the kids wake up. The kids usually wake up around 9:30, so 6, 7, 8, 9. That gives us like 3 hours to work before they wake up. So that's the majority of my work time, and then spend the whole day with the kids. So that's me being a mom and everything. And once they take a nap, they usually take a nap around 1 to 2 or 1 to 2:30. Once they take a nap, then I can go back and I can get more work done. That's when I finish up anything I was working on that morning that I did not get to finish. And when they wake up, then it's time to be a mommy and a wife, because by that time Dustin's at home too, so I'm helping him cook dinner, we're giving baths, playing, all those things. So I have like 3, 4, 5, I would say at most I have like 5 hours throughout the day where I can work on the social media things. So that's a good balance, I feel. Granted, when I go back to work, I will not have that time because my morning time will be getting ready to go to work and all the things. But that's why, as a content creator in the classroom, I love to just record what we're doing in the classroom, teaching experiences, day in the life. Those are really easy things to film instead of like sit down videos. So that's pretty much how I manage. Was that, oh yes, how do I balance it? So definitely tight scheduling and knowing when it's time to cut it off. It's so easy for me to be like, okay, Dustin has the kids, let me go back and get some work done. No, that means I need to use my time wisely in the morning time to get work done, and my time wisely during nap time to get work done, so that family time is just family time and I don't think about social media work at all. So the next question was, what camera do I use for pictures on Instagram? I use my iPhone 13. I think it's iPhone 13. And then for YouTube, I use a Canon G7X. That's what I film on. I would like to invest in like a lens for it to make it wider. Is that, I don't know. I don't know nothing about cameras. I did a lot of research of like different YouTubers, like what camera they started with. Most of them started with this camera, so that's why I went with this Canon G7X. How do you deal with helicopter parents? That's a good one. So I'm actually presenting about parent engagement this Monday and Tuesday at Teach Your Heart Out. So by the time you're watching this, I'm probably on the airplane heading to Vegas to go to Teach Your Heart Out. And I'm actually presenting about parent engagement. So dealing with those helicopter parents is very important to be available. I'm talking at the conference, I'm going to be talking about the 8 P's of parent engagement. And some of those P's that came to my head is being public. So never be secretive with these parents. That's why they're helicopter parents, because they're so worried. So definitely be public with them. Be personal with them. Let them know the real you. And also give them a personal experience. So that's be personal and show your personality. So give them a personal experience. Sometimes the helicopter parents need a little bit more help than the other parents because they're just worried. But also, sometimes those helicopter parents can be your best help in the classroom, okay? You're doing something where you need parent volunteers, you know that parent's coming. If you're doing something where you need parent advice or parent input, you know that parent's going to put in their input. So sometimes a helicopter parent is very, very, very useful. But how I deal with them is I make sure that I communicate with them the best way that I can, and if I'm not able to communicate with them, I still like verbalize that. So I've had a helicopter parent. I mean, you have a helicopter parent like every school year, but my previous, like my most recent helicopter parent, how I dealt with her was I provided her weekly newsletters, you know, what we're learning, what we're doing. I put monthly calendars in folders. I send home video messages, which really helped helicopter parents. They can hear what you're saying and they don't have to like read it and like not understand what you're talking about in like a message on Remind 101 or something. So I use ClassTag for my parent communication app, and you can send videos on it. That definitely helps a helicopter parent because they're listening to you talk about what's going on in the classroom. You can show them around the classroom, things like that. And also I have just my classroom policies, you know. It kind of goes into like your behavior plan situation, but kind of what is expected in the classroom, how things will run in the classroom, things like that. So it's very important for a helicopter parent. Definitely be very prepared on Meet the Teacher night. So when they meet you, they leave with no questions, honestly. That's very, very important. So that's why I Meet the Teacher, I recommend, you know, making that folder, taking your time on it, make sure your behavior plan's in there, your classroom procedures, your behavior incentives, like every single thing is in there. So that helicopter parent has no questions possible that they could ask. The only way they'll bother you is texting you throughout the day and asking how their child is doing. And usually when they do that to me, I like get my phone real quick, take a quick picture of their child engaging in something, and they're fine. But now if you can't have your phone out of school, you won't get that message anyway. But if you can't have your phone out of school, I do recommend that. Just take a quick picture. You don't even have to explain it. You know, how they doing at school today? Take a quick picture, send it, and you're done. So I guess that's the best way of working with the helicopter parent, is just to be there for them, honestly. Definitely in pre-K, I think it's easier to deal with the helicopter parent because, you know, like that's their first time that their baby is like going somewhere without them. So I'm very understanding for that. But in older grades, I think I'll be like, yo, come on. I got you. It's fine. Next question. What is your favorite part of teaching pre-K? Everything. Seriously. And it's so funny because I've never seen myself teaching pre-K. Always said I was going to teach 2nd grade, but then when I was doing my job search, there was only a job available in my city at this previous school that I was at. So I was like, okay, I'll apply there, but I only want to teach kindergarten. I'm not going to pre-K with those babies. I only want to teach kindergarten. So I interviewed and everything, but the principal at the time said that he would like for me to do the pre-K position. I was like, okay, I'll try for a year, whatever. Those pre-K kids compare, honestly, like some of them are like high school kids. They are so smart, but you would never think if you're looking from the outside, because all you see is like these little bitty humans. But those little humans, y'all, I can have a full conversation with a 4-year-old and I love it. Those are my favorite people to have conversations with. 4-year-olds. It's so crazy. But also I love that you can still have a lot of fun with your teaching. You can still personalize your teaching, do all those dramatic things, because that makes them so excited and they thrive for it. And also in pre-K, they still want to make you happy and they really care about like your heart and things like that. So it's so much easier to have them engaged in their learning and having fun with their learning because they want to make you happy. So I love teaching pre-K for the whole environment of it. It's such a happy place to be. It's amazing. Like seriously, you can have little Johnny. He was just at school yesterday and he threw a crayon box at your head, and then he comes in like the next day and like hugs your leg and you're like, what crayon box? I don't even care, because all they want to do is make you happy. And I just love pre-K. They're the cutest little things you'll ever meet in your entire life. Next question. Time management and mindset. I am so amazed with how well you balance things. Thank you so much. So I think what makes a difference also is that I love every single thing I do. I love being a mommy. So being a mommy is like, it just comes naturally. I love teaching, so I think teaching comes naturally. Then I've always kind of loved spreading joy, and I feel like that's what I do on social media. So I think that's why it doesn't bother me. Like it's so crazy that 2 people said something about 3 people So I just read another question. 3 people said something about my time management and like me balancing my life out. But I think it's just because I love every single thing I do that everything just comes naturally to me. Now, granted, I do manage being a mom, being a wife, and being a teacher perfectly, but I don't manage myself very well. Like, it was one of my goals to keep my nails done. I got my nails done once, haven't made time for it again. It was another one of my goals to keep like eyelash extensions on or something, because I don't have eyelashes, honestly. Did it once, haven't went back. I've tried to get on like a skincare routine, did it for a week, decided I didn't have time anymore because I only make time for teaching, my family, my husband. I mean, so I manage those things very well, but I haven't learned how to manage myself or my mental health just yet. So I do want to say that. But as in time management, I just talked about it. I work in the morning. When I get up, that's my quiet time to work alone. Kids wake up, that's our family time. They take a nap, it's time for me to work again. By the time they wake up, Dustin gets home, and it's time for family time and to go to bed. So that's usually how my day runs. And as for like my mindset, I just have a mindset of spreading joy and being the change. I know I want to make a difference. I don't know, like the Lord keeps putting me in different places, and I know that he's going to do exactly what he's going to show me exactly what I'm supposed to be doing to make this big difference that I want to make. But I know, like, with this little following that I already have, that I am making such a difference and such a change. And that's why, like, one of my biggest goals in life is to make a difference. So that's my mindset, and that's why I do what I do, and I work so hard doing what I'm doing. And I could definitely like give up on it, trust me, because you know, I've been doing this longer than some people that had like 100,000 followers on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You know, like I've been doing it for a long time with very slow gains, but I just do it because of the joy that it brings me, not because of the gains. So that's something I have to learn with my mindset, is to stop looking at the numbers and look at the joy that you're bringing those people that are following you on your journey and things like that. And also the joy that it brings myself. It brings me so much joy when I post things. Nobody can probably look at it and I'll still be like, I love that video. Answer that question. And thank you for being amazed by how I balance things. I try my best. Next question. How do you have so much energy? I need some. Let me tell you something. I get this question a lot, and also I get like people think that like it's fake when I act this way. It's not, and I don't know why I act this way. I've always been like this, like all of my entire life. I've never gotten out. I feel like I still have the mind frame of like a 7-year-old. Like, I have no idea, but this is like who I am all the time. So don't think I'm just putting on for a camera. Ask anybody that I've worked with. I'm like this all the time. If I'm comfortable with you. Let me fix that. If I'm comfortable with you, I'm like this all the time. But if I'm around somebody that like I'm low-key, like I don't, you know, vibe with you, I might just be, you know, like smiling and sitting. But if I'm comfortable with you, I'm off the top all the time. But I will say, I drink a lot of coffee. I love my coffee, and also I drink a lot of Spark energy drinks. No, I don't. I drink Spark energy drinks. I drink like 1 a day from Advocare. So that helps me a lot of energy too. But I don't know, I think it's just because I'm doing what I love. And again, I know that I am going to do big things and make a change one day, and I'm just working towards that goal. But no matter what, right now, it brings me a lot of joy doing this and sharing things and putting smiles on people's faces, and people tell me that like I bring them joy and stuff. So I guess that's how I have a lot of energy. I just like doing this. Next question. Tips on balancing being a mama, wife, and teacher. Definitely manage your time. Know when to cut things off. That's the biggest thing. I remember when I first started on social media, and I remember when I first started being a teacher. DJ had just gotten here. My first year teaching, I was 9 months pregnant when I started my job. I had DJ that September. So DJ just got in here, but he was like a newborn, so I could spend a lot of time doing classroom things. I used to take DJ in the classroom all the time. He grew up in the classroom. Like, he was always there. So I was not managing my time very well. I also just got out of the habit of going to school on Saturdays. Wasn't managing my time very well. So, sorry, I ran out of storage, but I'm back. But as for tips on balancing being a mama, wife, and teacher, definitely understand that being a mama and a wife is way more important than being a teacher. I'm sorry. It's you have to find that good balance. Again, I only do teacher things when my kids are asleep. I don't really look at teacher things on the weekends because I only want that to be designated to my husband and my kids. But I will say, before, I was going to school on every single Saturday. If I didn't go on Saturday, I was going on Sunday, no matter what. I went to school on a Sunday, on every weekend, no matter what. I would work on things all throughout the day, which would cause chaos because maybe I'm cutting something I don't want the kids to touch it. So I'm like yelling at them like, don't touch that, and things like that. It's when your kids are napping or before they wake up. Make sure your weekends are designated for your family and not teaching related things. And also, y'all are not gonna like that I'm gonna say this, but I stay over at school until I'm ready for the next day, or I stay over on Fridays until I'm ready for the entire week. That makes all the difference. I started doing that this school year. Like, I do my classroom refreshes on Fridays, so it means like I'm staying at school way later on Fridays, but I will not have to stay at school late the entire week, nor will I have any work to do at home because I stayed on that Friday. So that's another one. That's a good tip. Stay on Fridays, get everything done for the entire week, and you won't have to think about anything until that next Friday. So I would definitely look into that, or stay after school a little late sometimes so you're not bringing any work home, you know. Next question. What are tips you have for first-year pre-K teachers? I'm thinking about first-year pre-K teacher Jamaica. Make you a behavior plan and stick to it. I had terrible classroom management my first year in pre-K, and teaching a whole lot of 4-year-olds, you need to have all the classroom management, because once the chaos starts, and if the chaos keeps going for a certain, like, you know, a period of time, it's over with, and there's going to be straight chaos all the time. You're not going to be able to like wrangle them back in after they've been gone for like 2 months living their best life. So definitely go ahead and have a good classroom management plan in place when you come in August. Implement it in August, and don't change it up. Like, do not switch it up on 4-year-olds, because they'll remind you that you switched it up, and also they're going to use it against you that you switched it up. Again, these 4-year-olds, y'all, that compared to high schoolers, they're so smart. They will find every loophole. So make sure you have no loopholes. So definitely classroom management is the biggest thing that I would go ahead and be working on during the summer as a pre-K teacher. So that goes into what are you going to do for like your behavior incentives. Like, I do bucket fillers in my classroom. Students earn fillers in their buckets. This year we're going to start only getting like treasure boxes, treasure items on Fridays, but used to, if they got 6 fillers, they could get like an item from our treasure store. But we're going to start doing that just on Fridays, because I was going through so much money buying treasure stuff. So think about what you're going to do for your behavior system. I use bucket fillers. I do not recommend clip charts, but if you like clip charts, live your best life. What are your discipline? Like, what's your discipline plan in the classroom? I like to do 3 strikes for my students. I'm also talking about this on Monday at Teach Your Heart Out. I do 3 strikes with my students, and they know that 3rd strike, baby, they're out. So that's something that I would look into. Also, another tip is know the importance of center time. I never knew the importance of center time until 2 years ago. I used to waste my center time. I used to I'd never use it the right way. Center time is your best way to provide that differentiated instruction to your students. So definitely see the importance in your center time. Definitely see the importance in your center time grouping. Don't just group people because they have like that last name bracket, you know. No. Group them on their skill level and make sure that you mix those skill levels up so they can learn from their peers. Pre-K students learn so much from their peers in the classroom. They're going to learn more from that student and beside them. They're going to learn from you. So that's very, very important to mix up those skill levels. And also, don't have the same center grouping for the entire school year. I want to this year change it every 4 weeks or something. I want to change it. I think I want to change it every 4 weeks. Something in that dynamic so that they're learning from different peers. They're not getting comfortable with the same peers and things like that. So understand the importance of your center time. It's very vital. I never knew until 2 years ago. Another tip for a first year pre-K teacher, I'm thinking about things that like I struggle with my first year. Don't be scared to be yourself. My first year teaching, I feel like I was just trying to teach like everybody else. I wasn't being like this outgoing crazy person that I am, and I regret that so much. So be yourself. Bring that microphone into your classroom, sing those transition songs, jam out at 8 o'clock in the morning, because that's fine. You're setting an amazing classroom culture that your students will never forget, and those are the teachers that they want to work for the most. So never be scared to be yourself. Do those ideas, those crazy ideas that come to your head. I promise you, you will not regret it. Also, another tip for a first year pre-K teacher, those first few weeks of school are going to be terrible. I just want to let you know that. The kids are gonna be crying, the parents are gonna be crying, everybody's crying, everybody's upset, and you're just like, what is going on? So those first few weeks of pre-K, definitely go ahead and know that you're gonna have to give your kids grace. Be very, very patient. Again, if you can have phones in your classroom, throw out your phone real quick for a quick FaceTime for that student and that parent so they can talk to that student and calm them down. Make sure you're doing very hands-on, up, engaging, exciting activities those first few weeks of school to keep the kids' mind frame off of not being with mama anymore, and they're having fun at school. For those first few weeks of school, I'm doing very exciting things. They're up, they're dancing, they're walking around, they're doing this, they're doing that. I let them bring items in from home so they can see that your home items are also welcome here. Well, of course, we're gonna take them back home, but you know, like, this is just gonna be your other home pretty much. So definitely do things that will get your students excited to come to school, excited to be with you, and also make them feel comfortable. Please don't come in that first day and make them sit down on that carpet for 15 minutes and you talking to them. No, because then they don't want to be there because they're not having fun. Granted, will they get to that point where they're sitting for 15 minutes on the carpet? Yeah. But in the beginning, don't do that. Have them up, dancing, jumping around, engaging with one another, touring their school, things like that. So make sure everything you do is very upgoing, upbeat. Those are going to be your first like 2-3 weeks of exhaustion, because you're trying to keep up very high energy to make your students keep up high energy, which keeps that crying to a minimum. Next question. How do you deal with teacher anxiety? I'll be a first year teacher and kind of panicking. So I'm dealing with the teacher anxiety right now very, very bad because I'm moving to a new school. As for how I keep that teaching anxiety down, I would just, honestly, I really hate to say this, but staying busy is the best way that I keep my teaching anxiety down. That's the best way that I've found keeping my anxiety down about moving schools and being prepared and things. Keeping busy. I love creating things, so I create things to go put on TPT, create things for my classroom. If you're a reader, read. If you're a colorer, get your adult coloring book and color. But you need to take your mind off of school just a little bit. But if you're like me and you can't, definitely do positive affirmations every single day. Know that you're going to kill it. Know that those students are put in your classroom for a reason. Know that you are going to make a difference. Know that you are going to bring joy. Definitely remind yourself that you are meant to do this and everything is going to fall into place and you're going to be just fine. But definitely try staying busy. Try doing something that brings you joy outside of the classroom. And once you get in that classroom, all that anxiety is going to be gone. I don't know if you're able to set up your classroom just yet, but if you are, that teaching anxiety will go away. I promise you. Your first year teaching is your hardest year of teaching. I know. No, my first year teaching was terrible. I'll tell anybody. It was terrible. Terrible. And I had the teacher anxiety also. But once I found out that I can just, just be yourself, do what you can do and don't do no extra. Do not look at what that 17-year veteran teacher is doing down the hallway. You're not going to be able to do that your first year. And if you are able to do it your first year, you're killing the game already. You're not going to be able to do that. Do what you can do and trust yourself and trust your gut. You got this, okay? But let me tell you, teaching anxiety is a bad word. I know. I definitely get outside, go for a walk, all those things. And definitely I know who you are, lovely Kristen. I'm going to reach out to you and we're going to be best friends and we're going to talk to each other and we're going to get you out of this teaching anxiety, okay? So now we're going to move on to the YouTube questions. Question: what is your best classroom management advice? How do you keep kids engaged and how do you deal with kids with problem behaviors? My best classroom management advice, for one, is to use something that is visual. So for example, teaching my kids how to sit on the carpet, I have a visual of a child walking to the carpet, find their spot on the carpet, sitting on the carpet, crisscrossing their legs, putting their hands in their lap. Like, that's how stepped out it needs to be. So having everything in a visual concept definitely helps with classroom management. Also, have reward that your kids want. I'm gonna be talking about this on Monday, but something that I love to do is talk to my parents about maybe what they want, what their child likes to work towards, and also set small goals for your students in the beginning. Don't start off with like holding them to like super big expectations in your classroom. Start off small and then work up, and also give constant like rewarding, like positive reinforcements to your students as a whole group. It's amazing, I promise. Like, my students work in teams on the carpet. Well, they used to. I don't know how I'm gonna work that out this school year, but you know, just like them sitting crisscross, I was giving thumbs up all the time, thumbs up all the time, all the time. They didn't have to even get anything from me. Just seeing a thumbs up being put on like their team's chart was amazing. So have multiple ways that they can earn positive and reinforcements in your classroom. That helps a lot. So how to keep students engaged. Again, on the carpet, I did this give me 5. I did give me 5 on the carpet. I have that up on my TPT. It was just a little card. It's a card on a bucket. They earn 5 thumbs up. If they get 5 thumbs up, I usually gave them like a Smartie or a Skittle, their team. So their team was given thumbs up for sitting crisscross applesauce, being engaged, answering questions on the carpet. Mind you, to get that thumbs up, the whole team had to be engaged. 4-year-olds love competition. They'll be like, yo, I'm on the blue team, I got 2 thumbs up. You on the red team, you got not 1 thumbs up. Y'all need to work harder. They will hold each other accountable. I promise you, they'll hold each other accountable. So something that they can work towards on the carpet is definitely great. Another thing that I did last year that I'm going to be changing up and doing this year is learning buddies. Those students are engaged in your lesson, participating in conversations, crisscross applesauce, like showing all the things that you want to see. They earn a learning buddy, and that learning buddy can learn with them for the entire day, just a stuffy that can sit with them and learn with them for the whole day. Definitely helps with keeping students engaged. Also, songs. I love songs in my classroom. We listen to a song for every single lesson that I'm doing, no matter if I have to make up the song or YouTube has a song. Listen to songs in your classroom. It will change the dynamic. Like starting every single lesson with a song and then moving to, you know, your learning segment, and then also make sure you have something that the kids are doing in every single learning segment. That can be hard in the beginning, but by the time that your students jump into it, it's so much better. So that goes into think, pair, shares, like having partner conversations, having a whiteboard or something in their lap that they can draw on while they're learning. Something in that aspect. Make sure the students are doing something as you're teaching. I will tell you this. When you're observed, that observer cares nothing about what you're doing. They only care about what those kids are doing. So make sure your kids are engaged in their learning activities and doing something to show their mastery in that learning activity. That definitely helps with engagement. Giving them something to do. Maybe we're working with numbers or giving them a dry erase board to write the number down or write a quantity down. Learn a new letter. I'm giving them a dry erase board to write the new letter on there. So many things that you could do to keep your kids engaged. How do you deal with kids with behavior problems? So I've had very explosive behaviors in my classroom. The biggest thing, again, is visuals, patience, and persistence. Do not give up. Okay, once you give up, again, once you fold, it's all folded and it's done. You cannot give up. You cannot change up what you're doing. Stay true, stay persistent, and I promise you, those changes will come. So visuals are very important. I love a first in chart. First you crisscross, then you get this. They earn 5 stickers, then they can get their treat after they crisscrossed. And also, again, make that small segments of time. Don't make this child crisscross for 10 minutes and then they earn a thumbs up. So I will probably run in like 2-minute segments. Like, I mean, it needs to be constant reinforcement if you're working with a child with a problem behavior, so that they can like know and they can see like, oh, wait a minute, I've earned those thumbs up because I was sitting crisscross, and then I earned my 5 thumbs up and I got a Skittle. So maybe that means Miss Jamaica wants me to sit crisscross applesauce. Then they have like a brain like, whoo, and they understand. They're like, okay, this is what I'm working towards. And once they have that like aha moment, they've had it. And that's it. They know then what they're working towards. And it's so much easier to get them engaged and get them back in line once they understand what they're working for. So definitely visuals, especially education has amazing visuals for students with problem behaviors. Most of her things are like labeled like for like autistic kids, but there's kids that don't have a disability that have problem behavior. So her items can work for every single child. I don't want you to look at it and think like, oh, this is only for a child with IEP or something like that. No, it can work for every single child. It doesn't matter if they have an IEP, they don't have an IEP. All behaviors can be worked through the exact same way. So I definitely look into especially education's visuals for behavior management in your classroom, because she got the good stuff, I promise. Next question. I lost it. Hold on. Oh. 11-year teacher here. I absolutely love your channel. Do you think you will teach any other grades beside pre-K? You do amazing in the lower elementary because you're so animated, which is a great thing. Can't wait to see your classroom set up. Thank you so much for being here. Also, I have thought of teaching a grade other than pre-K. When I took this job in pre-K, the principal asked me, would you be interested in teaching another grade level? And I want to say yes so bad. I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. I see myself doing pre-K maybe 2 more years, and then I do want that challenge of a 1st grade class. I definitely think I want to go to 1st grade. That's going to be my next goal. So 1st grade, then I'm going to do an instructional coach, and then I'm going to be a principal. That's going to be like the boom, boom, boom. Hold me to it, y'all. Boom, boom, boom. So I do see myself teaching another grade level, but I think I got like 2 years left in pre-K. Give me 2 years in pre-K, then I'm going to move to 1st grade. Hold me to it, y'all. Hold me to it. I'm terrified already. Why do you do letter of the week versus letter of the day? So we did letter of the week because that's how it was done in our big day curriculum. I taught the alphabet exactly how it was laid out in our curriculum, but then I differentiated my instruction towards my classroom and my students. But yeah, that's why I did letter of the week instead of letter of the day. I feel like letter of the day would be a lot, right? So are you changing a letter every single day? My students would never catch on that fast. If there's only 20 something letters, so there's only 20 days of lessons, right? I don't know. Even if big day didn't do letter of the week, I feel like I would still want to do a letter of the week because it gives my students more time to fully learn the letter, the sound, words that begin with that letter, how to hear the sound in the words, so you know that word starts with that letter. So yeah, that's why I do letter of the week. Big day did that for us though, so yeah. Behavior management strategies in your classroom. I just talked about that, but definitely visuals a big deal. So visuals of what you expect, clear expectations in your classroom. Behavior management also goes with the parents, so sending the parents a copy of your behavior plan so that the parents know also what you expect in your classroom, so they can help with holding their kid accountable for things they do in your classroom. Clear as day behavior incentives in your classrooms. For example, when they were earning the thumbs up on the carpet, they could see themselves earn the thumbs up. When they earn bucket fillers, they can see their bucket fill up, and they understand then why they're going to the behavior store getting a Skittle, because they can see the incentives like building as they go. So definitely a way where they can see them building onto their behaviors. Enjoy clip charts because usually they're just like red, yellow, green, blue, but they start on green, right? Yes, they start on green usually on a clip chart, and then they can move up to maybe purple, but once they're in purple they can't build up from there. You see what I'm saying? And then they're on yellow. Like, it's good for like negative behaviors, but it's not good for showing them how they can build with positive behaviors. You know? So yeah, just clear visuals so that as they can see, so students can see how they can build onto their positive behaviors and earn things in the classroom, and also learn more. You know, like I love to tell my students, like, you guys sat crisscross the entire time, no one disturbed Miss Jamaica, and guess what, we finished our lesson early. You guys have learned so much. Like, everyone here was able to tell me what we learned. Now we can have a dance party, you know. So just earning simple things in the classroom definitely helps with behavior management. Last question, how do you start prepping for a new school year? This year is completely different. For one, I'm changing my whole darn classroom theme. So I'm like prepping all this stuff, and I don't know what curriculum we're using, so I can't prep that stuff. Moving to a new school, so I have no idea how my layout's gonna be. So I don't think I'm right to answer that question at all. But usually I'll look into the curriculum, lay everything out for like the first semester of school. I did that last year and make calendars for our pre-K team. So laying out the entire school year, when you're gonna teach this, how are you gonna teach this, that's what I love to do in the summertime. That's how I prep, so I know exactly what I'm going into. So if you know what your curriculum is, definitely laying it out, put it on the calendar for yourself, and you can see when you're doing what. They'll definitely help you out in the school year. Another thing for prepping for back to school, go ahead and make those things for Meet the Teacher night. I love having my Meet the Teacher night engaging and fun for my parents and students. So printing out all of those things, make sure your behavior plan is set. That's a big thing to prep for a new school year, is your behavior plan. Meet the Teacher night has a lot of paperwork, so making sure you have like that paperwork in place. Most of the time your school will give you like designated paperwork for the school, but I know like for your classroom, if you're gonna have a snack time, you need to have a snack time sign up done. I love to have my parents give me advice and make goals for the students, so having that done, I have a Meet the Teacher night advice for my students and goals for my students up on my TBT page as a freebie. Upload it up into a poster. I have sticky notes out, and my parents can write those things. I think I might have the snack time sign up on TBT too. I don't really know. So having Meet the Teacher night things good and in place. Anything extra that I like to do in my classroom, like I like to have writing journals. So I'll go ahead and print all those things out, like just like fine motor journals before like they can like start writing their names and stuff, because I don't know who my kids are going to be. So go ahead and prepping, like printing and laminating fine motor journals, printing and laminating classroom decor. Those are great things to go ahead and be prepping for the new school year. So yeah, and I love to organize. Prepping anything extra you'll do in your classroom, like fine motor journals, things like that. This is a perfect time to be printing, laminating, and cutting all the things for your school year and for your classroom, so you don't have to worry about doing that during that like week of in-service or whatnot. So that's a big thing to go ahead and start prepping for back to school season. Different ways that I'm prepping for back to school. I know I'm printing, laminating, because I'm doing a whole new classroom thing this year. I'm painting. I love to paint a new piece of furniture for my classroom every year. Look for personal pieces that you can bring into your classroom for cheap that you can use to make the students feel welcome in your classroom. That's good to go ahead and prep. Maybe you can have an amazing work wall where students can draw different pictures and put them onto the wall, so then they feel a little bit more personal in your classroom. Thinking of your behavior plan, thinking about Meet the Teacher night, which is so important. Prepping like Google Slides and things like that for the year. I know I want to make Google Slides for like every single month. I'm going to get that up on TPT, I promise. Working in your planner yes, that is on my agenda, is to go ahead with me moving to a new school. I'm gonna have like new teacher orientation, all those things. So working in your planner, I'm gonna have like new teacher orientation, all those things. So working in your planner, go ahead and using your school calendar, working all those things in. And also another back to school prep is you having self-care for yourself. My self-care, my self-love is working on teacher things. That's just me. But if your self-care, the way you show love for yourself, is reading a book or going out for a walk and doing those things, that's prepping for back to school, because you're prepping your best mindset and your best mind frame for back to school season. So I definitely recommend that also. So those were all the questions. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions. If you guys want me to do a part 2 Q&A, let me know. Ask me more questions. I will be glad to answer them. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys will subscribe and join the family, because I am loving this little family that we're building over here on YouTube. So the next vlog you'll see is Teach Your Heart Out Vegas. I am so terrified, but I pray I do a good job. I'll be vlogging everything, so you will see how Teach Your Heart Out Vegas went. And I can't wait to see you guys next time for another video. Bye y'all, love you.